Hello, my name is Simonized and welcome to another Simonized Guide video. Today I'm going to be talking about gearing your rogue in Phase 1 of Season of Discovery for PvE content. I'm going to talk about both some easy to get pre-raid gear to get you going and get you into your first Black Fathom Deeps raid, and your Phase 1 best in slot gear, including everything that's available in Phase 1. To do that, we'll be going over the best in slot gear guide from Wowhead for Rogue DPS in Phase 1 of Season of Discovery. That was written by me, and here you're going to get basically an audio version of that guide. So let's get right into it with the helmets first. For your Phase 1 best in slot in the helmet, it's going to be the Twilight Slayer's Cowl. This item is individually a little bit weaker than the Artemis Cowl, but we're going to get the set bonuses and that's going to push it ahead. We'll be using 3 pieces of the Twilight Slayer's set. Humbert's helm is technically accessible pre-raid, but I would not consider that something easy to get. As far as an easy to get pre-raid helmet option, I'd say nothing. Or for some style points, go with the Red Defias mask from Westfall. That one's always an iconic look. Shoulders have a few options, and the best in slot option for your shoulder is Mantle of Thieves. However, this is a really rare zone drop from Razorfen Crawl, which is a 25 to 30 level instance, which can be kind of hard to do with characters at level 25, might not really be reasonable to obtain in Phase 1. If you're not getting Mantle of Thieves as your best in slot, the Sentinel Pauldrons from the raid, dropping from Akumai, or the Bristlebark Amos as a BOE world drop are good alternatives. As far as an easy to get pre-raid option, the dark leather shoulders are great. These are crafted by leather workers, so they should not be hard to find. The best cloak actually comes from PvP. The Sergeant's Cloak has been updated for Season of Discovery to give +4 to all stats, which makes it the best option in Phase 1. However, it's only a survivability upgrade over the second best option, a Cutthroat's Cape of the Tiger, +4 agility, +4 strength. Or other cloaks can roll +4 as well. You're looking for that Tiger, strength, and agility. However, this even isn't that much better than your other options that are much easier to get and accessible outside of raid, like the Cape of the Brotherhood from Edwin Van Cleef in the Dead Mines would be a great one to enter Black Fathom Deeps with, or, not even much worse, and much easier to get, the Glowing Lizard Scale Cloak drops from Scum, the Lizard Boss in Wailing Caverns. And this one's really easy to get, because if you get your rogue to level 25, maybe you don't have Cape of the Brotherhood yet, you haven't found a +4/+4 Tiger Cape, you can go into Wailing Caverns and solo Scum until he drops this cloak for you. If you're having trouble soloing Scum, be sure to bring some health potions and some thistle teas to help make the fight easier for you. Moving on to the chest armor, we again have the Twilight Slayer's Tunic as our best in slot option. And also, again, individually slightly weaker than another alternative like a BOE green with +22 attack power. Could be Dervish Tunic, could be other tunic names, but you're looking for 22 attack power. As a pre-raid option for Alliance, you've got a great choice with the Tunic of Westfall with 11 agility, 5 stamina, comes from the quest reward for killing Van Cleef, the end of the Defias Brotherhood quest chain. However, Horde do not have access to this item, so they're going to have to go for either Panther armor from the quest The Den, the blackened Defias armor that's a drop from Van Cleef, or if they can pick up one of these +22 attack power tunics, that would be a very good one to step into Black Fathom Deeps with. For the wrists, it is a unfortunate circumstance that the best option is simply a randomly enchanted green. Cutthroat's Arm Guards of Power +12 attack power on the wrist slot is really better than anything else you can get. The hands give us access to our only epic option in Phase 1, and that's for leather workers specifically. The Void Touched leather gloves are a bind-on pickup crafted item made by leather workers. So if you want to use these, if you want to get these, you have to be a leather worker and you have to stay a leather worker. These have quite a lot of stats on them, and the equip effect giving you bonus hit chance is great. Agility, stamina, spirit we don't care about so much, and has an activated effect to increase your attack speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Don't worry about the threat increase part of that, not a big deal. However, this has a lot less attack power on it than the heavy earthen gloves. These are crafted by a leatherworker, but can be used by anyone. When the Void Touch leather gloves have their activated ability available and you can use it, that's going to put them ahead of heavy earthen gloves. But when that activated ability is not available, they're effectively equal to heavy earthen gloves. So I would not say leatherworking is a required profession because they're really not that much better than the non-leatherworking alternative. For the belt, Horde really luck out with access to a Horde-only quest to get the Deftkin belt, which is an exceptional belt, much better than anything else that's available in this phase. It comes from the quest Genu of the Earthen Ring. To get this quest, you need to first be on the quest called Stone Talon Standstill that you pick up at Splinter Tree Post. Then you're going to go to Mistral Lake. That quest sends you to kill some elementals there, and you're going to kill the named elemental called Tidress while you're on the quest Stone Talon Standstill. It's going to drop a quest starter item. You're going to turn that in, get your Deftkin belt. For Alliance, unfortunately, you cannot get something as good as Deftkin belt. The best option for Alliance is going to be a randomly enchanted of the Tiger belt with 6 or 5 strength and agility on it. For the legs, we have 2 best in slot options that are basically equivalent to each other with the Troll's Bane leggings, 14 agility, 4 stamina, or a plus 22 attack power randomly enchanted green legging are virtually identical to each other in terms of your DPS output. Now, both of these are BOE and could be pretty hard to obtain. And the leggings of the Fang are a great option that's still really good and accessible pre-raid. Just like the glowing lizard scale cloak, rogues at level 25 can go into Wailing Caverns and solo Lord Cobran to get their leggings of the Fang. It's about a 1 in 5 drop chance, so you might have to do a couple runs before you get lucky and see it drop. And again, if you're having difficulty with killing Lord Cobran, be sure to bring some healing potions and some thistle teas to try to make it easier. The boots give us our third and final piece of the Twilight Slayers set, and like the other slots, the set piece is not individually as strong as some of the other options like a Pathfinder boots of power plus 16, but when considering the set bonuses, it all comes together and works out nicely. For the necklace, there are only a few choices. The Scout's Medallion is a great one, 6 agility, 2 stamina, and that comes from getting honored with your Warsong Gulch faction. Remember, in Season of Discovery, you can get reputation with this faction, both from doing Warsong Gulch and also from doing the Ashenvale World PvP event. It's the same faction, so that can be a good way to get some reputation, get a good necklace. These necklaces, like Spectral Necklace of the Tiger or of the Monkey or of Agility, have been really absurdly expensive on my server. Maybe it's the same on yours. So I wouldn't worry about getting one of those before stepping into a raid. And then easily, the best necklace option you have is the High Tide Choker. Drops from Baron Aquinas in Black Fathom Deeps. Simply has more stats on it than any of the other options, so easy pick for best in slot. Rings are another slot that have a bit of disparity between the factions. For Horde, you can get Band of the Iron Fist from the Allegiance to the Old Gods quest in Black Fathom Deeps. This is simply the best ring. It's really good. If you're on Horde side, you should pick this up. For everyone else, the next best ring is going to be the Thunderbrow Ring. This is a BOE world drop with 8 strength, 3 agility, really exceptional. However, as a BOE world drop, the only reasonable way you're going to get it is buying it on the auction house, and it can be pretty expensive because it's not just BIS for rogues, it's BIS for some other classes too. A lot of people want this. Personally, I do not consider the large price tag on this ring on my server to be worth it. I'm not planning on getting it. I'm going to be looking at either a Protector's Band or Legionnaire's Band on my rogue. These come from Honored with your Warsong Gulch faction. They both have the same stats, just a different name. 4 strength, 4 agility, 2 stamina. Pretty nice. And an easy to get option would be the Monkey Ring, which is a quest reward from Willix the Importer, which is an escort quest inside the Razorfen Crawl dungeon. This is a rather high-level dungeon, So you want to have a team of 5 level 25 players to go in here, find the Goblin Willix the Importer, and escort him out to get your monkey ring. This quest also has reward options of a 6 intellect or 6 strength ring, so there's usually something for everyone, and should be pretty easy to find a group to get this quest done. For trinkets, it's another one where there just aren't too many options at this level. The best one is definitely the Avenger's Void Pearl. This is the only one that gives you a direct offensive benefit with 18 attack power, which is frankly a big offensive benefit. This comes from the perfect Black Fathom Pearl that drops from the last boss, Akumai of Black Fathom Deeps. This is kind of like your Head of Onyxia or Head of Nefarian or Eye of Cthulhu. The thing that drops off the last boss every time has a quest reward that's good for everyone. Your other options are either Rune of Duty for a little extra survivability with some stamina and health regen, or your PvP Dispel Trinket that will remove Charm, Fear, and Polymorph effects. Even in PvE, this can be useful, especially on a boss like Gelihast who uses fears on you. You'll want to dispel them immediately so you can continue DPSing the boss, so these are definitely good on Gelihast and any other PvE boss that's going to charm, fear, or polymorph you. Now we get to the most exciting section, the weapons, and there are a lot of them. For a Saber/Rogue, which I believe currently is the best PvE DPS spec, your best main hand is the Honed Darkwater Talwar. This has a lot of weapon DPS. It has that very desirable slow weapon speed for your main hand, although its secondary stats aren't great. You know, a shadow damage proc is just not that significant. Second best option, and still really strong, is accessible to Horde only, is the Outlaw Saber. We have slightly less weapon DPS, still really good speed, and exceptional secondary stats with attack power on it. So this is a really strong option. Past that, your Warsong Gulch Revered Reputation swords, accessible to both factions, are going to be your next option. So beyond that, we have pre-raid available options, Beazel's Basher as a BOE world drop, or the ever-famous Cruel Barb from Edwin Van Cleef in the Deadmines. Personally, I think Cruel Barb is an excellent option for a pre-raid rogue. You get a Cruel Barb for your main hand, you're ready to go into BFD. I wouldn't worry too much about grinding out Revered Reputation with your Warsong Gulch faction to get a slightly better, Legionnaires or Protectors sword. Now, if you don't want to do Saber/Rogue, maybe you want to be a Backstab build or Mutilate build, your best option is going to be the Chipped Bite of Sarah Kiss, and as a pre-raid option, the Meteor Shard from Shadowfang Keep. For the offhand, our weapon selection criteria is a little different. The weapon DPS is much less significant because it's not scaling any of our ability damage, and our offhand auto attacks inherently get a 50% damage reduction just because that's how offhand auto attacks work. Instead of a very slow weapon like we want for the main hand, we want a very fast weapon in the offhand, and that helps us maintain deadly poison stacks from our Deadly Brew rune. There's actually a lot of offhand options that are super close to each other in performance. If you get any of these top 4 offhand weapons, you're probably not going to see a meaningful difference in your performance from changing from one of these to one of the other top 4. They're all super close in power, so that should make it pretty easy for you to get a good offhand weapon on your rogue. And just like for the main hand, your weapon selection, if you're Backstab or Mutilate, is going to be a little bit different on your offhand. The best offhand weapon for a Mutilate build is going to be Chipped Bite of Sarkis, and the best offhand weapon for a Backstab build, if you're Horde, is Outlaw Saber. If you're Alliance, we're back to Chipped Bite of Sarkis. The last slot we've got to deal with is the ranged weapon, and there's only 3 ranged weapons that give meaningful stats to a rogue. That's the Ranger Bow with +1 agility, the Naga Heart Piercer +5 strength, or the Baal Modan Blunderbuss +6 agility, and it's pretty easy to see +6 agility is the best option we've got there. And that covers all 17 slots with both Phase 1 best in slot options and easy to get pre-raid options for your rogue in Phase 1 of Season of Discovery. Now, while I can't update this video very easily, if there are changes to this guide, you can see them on the Wowhead guide, again, which is linked in the video description. That is something I'm able to easily edit and update. I hope this guide has been helpful for you, and I hope you have fun and do a whole lot of damage on your rogue in Season of Discovery. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.